Going to dinners, parties, or celebrating holidays makes fat loss a lot harder. There is so many ways you can cheat on your diet with food you wouldn't normally eat. So you're standing there spiraling about, how many calories is this? Will I get enough protein from this food? Is this even worth it? Maybe I should just eat it. Well, everybody else just sees this and they're thinking, are they okay? So in this video, I'm gonna break down the cheat meal cheat sheet so that you can still lose fat, but still have your cheat meals every week. This system is broken down into 3 sections. How to plan for your cheat meal, what to do on the day of your cheat meal, and what to do after. So come with me and we'll break it down. Starting with how to plan for your cheat meal. I'm gonna use me as an example because first we need to work out what our maintenance calories is at. This is the amount of calories you need to eat to stay at the same body weight. A good tool for this, ChatGPT. I'm 80 kilos, 176 centimeters, and I want to know what my calorie intake is. I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I currently do between 11 to 14,000 steps a day.
So to estimate your calorie intake, we'd calculate your total daily energy expenditure. We'll factor in your basal metabolic rate, and then just for activity. Just a quick one, do you know roughly your age and gender? That'll help us fine-tune the BMR calculation.
22 and a male.
Perfect, thanks. So we'll calculate your BMR using the Mifflin St. Jean equation. For men, it's about 10 times your weight plus 6.25 times your height minus 5 plus 5. So that's about 10 times 80 plus 6.25 times 176 minus 5 plus 5. Once we have that, we multiply by an activity factor since we're
All right, come on, get to it.
Absolutely. So running through the math, your BMR is about 1,790 calories per day. Now for activity, since you're quite active, we'll multiply by around 1.725. That puts your TDE at roughly 3,090 calories a day. So if you want to maintain weight, that's a good baseline.
Let's make it 3,000 because it's just easier that way. So 3,000 is our daily calorie intake to maintain our weight. If we want to lose weight, we need to be in a calorie deficit. Let's say we're going to be in a 700 calorie deficit. That means we would be eating 2,300 calories a day. If we still want to have a cheat meal and lose fat, we need to work out what our weekly calorie intake would be. So we would get this 2,300 and times it by 7, which would be, fuck, I'm not Asian enough for this. I say that with a noodle on the back of my shirt. 1,600 calories per week. So we need to eat 16,000 calories a week to lose fat. So for us to be in a calorie deficit, we need to go 16,000 divided by 7, which would be 2,300 calories a day. But let's say this day is going to be the day that we have our cheat meal. And that cheat meal is going to be 2,000 calories. We need to find that 2,000 calories somewhere across the week. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this 2,000 and we're gonna divide it by 6. That way we can lower our calorie intake across these days so that we can account for this 2,000. So that would be 2,000 divided by 6. So let's say we drop out 300 calories for each of these days, which would look something like this. By us doing this, that means we can have all these extra calories on this day. So even though this day is massive for calories, if you get your average calorie intake across the week, it's still 16,000. That's how we can plan for our cheat meal because we're still eating the same amount of calories. It's just a lot of it is on one day. Little bonus tip as well. For this cheat meal, you need to make sure that you know what you're going to eat. Go-to for me, burgers and chips. So I know roughly how many calories that's gonna be. So I plan for it in advance and then I can take away the calories for the rest of the week to make sure that I add it up and I can still lose fat because I hit this weekly number. Which takes us to the next point. What to do on the day of your cheat meal. There's 4 things we're gonna do. First thing you're gonna do when you wake up the morning of your cheat day, you're not gonna eat for the first 4 to 6 hours of the day. By doing this, you're basically pushing all your calories for later in the day, which means you can eat more, which means you might even be able to have more on your cheat meal and fit in a sweet little treat. Yes, it fucking sucks and you will feel like an African child. However, it is pretty worth it when you get to dinner and you're thinking about all the food you can make fit into your calorie intake and you're still gonna lose fat from it. Pro tip, smash some coffees and some sugar-free drinks. That will get you through the day. The next thing, you're also gonna drink a lot more water than you normally would because what happens is when you step on the scales tomorrow, if you don't drink enough water, your water weight is going to fucking skyrocket and you're gonna feel like a watery piece of shit because of it. When you drink a lot more water than your body actually needs, you're basically telling your body that it doesn't need to store this energy because it's basically you're getting a constant supply of it throughout the whole day. So you're gonna drink a lot more water than you normally would for the whole day of your cheat meal. The next pro tip for that is just have a water bowl and take a sip every half an hour. If you have to set a reminder, just do that. The next thing, you're gonna focus on high protein foods. When you're having meals out, it's hard to know how much protein is actually in them. And if you haven't hit your protein intake for the day, that's a big no-no. So focus on eating high protein foods for all your meals before your cheat meal. That way, when it comes to having your cheat meal, you barely need any protein to actually hit your protein intake for the day. Which is pretty great because we always want to make sure that we're hitting our protein intake. So focus on eating a lot of high protein shit for the day. And the final thing you're gonna do day of, you're gonna pre-game the meal. As soon as I rock up to eat my cheat meal, everything on the menu looks fucking great and I want to order 6 different things. So the solution to that is we're going to eat something before we go out. That way, when you are staring down the barrel of the menu and everything is looking yummy and tasty as fuck, you're already half full from what you ate before, so you're going to order less, but you still get to enjoy your cheat meal and stay in your calories. What are some good things to eat before you go out? Well, you obviously don't want to have stuff that's super high in calorie, so solutions. High protein yogurt. I'm not a child, so any sort of vegetables, because they're super low in calories, plus fiber. Pumpkin as well, because it's easily the best thing to eat. And my personal favorite, a Ninja Creamy, because it's just ice cream. That's low calorie. As long as you eat something before though, it's going to make you eat a lot less, which means it's a lot easier to stay in calorie intake. Now, the last thing to mention that's super important, should you track this meal? I don't, because I know I've left room in my calorie intake for it. So I'd rather just enjoy the meal with my family, my friends, whoever I'm with, and not be that guy that's like standing there, hold on, I just gotta track this before I eat it. No, get the fuck out of here. If you wanna track it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but if you've allowed the space for it, if you're 100 calories over, who cares? You're still gonna be in a calorie deficit, let's be real. So that's what you should do the day of your cheat meal, which takes us to the last point. What should you do the day after? You've just woken up, you go and stand on the scales, and your weight has gone up. You're standing there wondering if you should eat less calories that day so that your weight goes back down. No. This is how we develop a bad relationship with food. What you're gonna do is you're gonna carry on like nothing happened. You had one meal off plan, and if you did all the things I just mentioned, it wasn't even off plan because you made it fit into your calorie intake. That next morning, you're gonna carry on like you never had that cheat meal, and you're gonna go back to the exact same amount of calories you were on before it. So whatever your normal calorie intake was, you're just gonna go back to that. But a cheat meal does send some people spiraling, so what should you do if you're spiraling out of control and you can't stop eating things? One, that's honestly a sign that you've been dieting for too long and you should actually go back to your maintenance calories. So that's option one. But option two, focus on getting one good meal in without having anything extra on it, and then try and improve that the next week or the next day, and have 2 meals, then 3, and then you're gonna eventually work back up to where you were previously. But genuinely, the worst thing you can do is say that you're a piece of shit and that you have to pay this sort of debt to yourself because you enjoyed a time out with family or friends. You will feel like the biggest piece of shit when you do that. And this is why people fall off their diets so consistently, because what happens is after they have a cheat meal, they feel like a piece of shit. They say that they're a piece of shit. And so then they diet super hard. They can't maintain it. They have something to eat again. They call themselves a piece of shit again. And what happens from that? No one likes feeling like shit. So you're gonna stop the thing that makes you feel that way. And the thing that's making you feel that way is dieting, because cheating on your diet is making you feel like shit. And I've perfectly explained it in this. Saying you're a piece of shit will make you want to stop because you don't want to feel like a piece of shit. So you'll stop trying to lose fat because not being able to stick to your diet is the reason you feel that way. That is why people fall off. So the best thing is just to return to baseline and act like nothing happened. Simple as that. How can I be so descriptive with it? Because I made all these mistakes before. Having meals out shouldn't be something that you are trying to avoid, because these meals are what allows you to spend time with your family, your friends, your partner, and you shouldn't be sacrificing those relationships to lose fat. Especially if you can use this and make it fit into your calorie deficit. By having these meals, you're making fat loss a lot easier because it gives you something to look forward to and motivate you when work feels about as enjoyable as having a bath with a toaster. So if you can make this meal work into your calorie deficit, you will make it a lot easier to lose fat. If you do want a copy of this, there's a link in the description. And if you're wondering how I learned all of this, it's because I made every mistake under the sun when it comes to fat loss for 4 years. So if you don't want to make any of those mistakes, probably watch this video here.